Hey, everybody in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs Women's Veterans Program is proud to highlight an incredible community partner, Spark. Spark is a social practice arts organization that uses creative expression, movement, and storytelling to really strengthen the individual and community at large. They're really thinking about the community's well being. Their work really creates spaces where people can feel seen, grounded and connected, especially those who have carried a heavy experience. And this really includes not just the community, but our veterans at large. As part of our Empower Her Hour initiative, we will be holding a summit, Women's Veterans Professional Development, on March 14th in Lawton, Oklahoma. Spark Oklahoma will be leading a closing experience through their Movement Lab for Women Veterans. And space is really created for women veterans that will focus on identity, healing, and their voices. So this is not just a performance, it's really community care. And so this is a reminder for women veterans that you deserve support that really honors your whole experience, the whole person. And so we're really grateful to announce this partnership with Spark to uplift women and women across Oklahoma. And we're really excited to welcome this into the statewide effort. And really, we're really wanting to introduce this beautiful partnership during our professional development event on March 14th. It will be held at Vista Innovation Park in Lawton. So please join me to really welcome Spark Oklahoma and celebrating the role of art, movement, and really creative healing in the lives of women who have served. So I'm really honored to have the executive director, Nicole Poole, here from Spark. I want to know a little bit about the mission, what the Movement Lab is. I know we've had some couple of sit downs about this initiative. Can you tell us a little bit about that, or tell our community
Sure. Yeah,
about that?
I will. Yeah, thank you. And thank you, PETA. First, huge thanks to ODVA, to PETA, to everyone working here. But the Women's Veterans Program is so powerful, and it's powerful because of people who say, yes, let's try, right? And that's kind of what Spark Creative Lab was built on. The mission is we employ the arts for individual and social well-being. So for us, it takes more than words to encapsulate an entire person, and the arts can play a role in helping individuals feel more themselves or more whole,
Absolutely.
right? Belonging, connection. And if you have a society full of individuals who feel that way, perhaps the society can feel a little more knit together.
I love that.
Thanks.
What have you seen art and movement? How how does that make it possible for people navigating maybe some trauma or transitioning? A lot of our veterans, or all service members are transitioning out. So, what have you seen through some of these initiatives, and how does this support service members or
Oh,
prior
sure,
service members?
sure. Well, my dad was Army, and growing up with him taught me a lot uh, about things that service members can go through.
Hmm.
And he was a painter, he was an artist, and there were so many things that he couldn't say with words that he could say through art and through other forms of expression. So, with the work that we do, we've got a one program that's entry level. It's called Connecting the Dots, and
Hmm.
it's a workshop that's based in Morse code. So we translate personal messages
Hmm.
into Morse code, and then that goes into rhythm and into mask making. And nobody ever has to disclose what their letters mean,
Very
right?
cool.
Although many choose to, but they still get to hear an entire room echoing it back to them. And the arts are a wonderful way for people to not only express what they may be feeling, but it's a great way for other people to listen. And so, trying to
Absolutely.
combine those things, I have seen more breakthroughs and more, even though we're
Hmm.
non-clinical, right? We're trauma aware and trauma informed, but we remain in the non-clinical space. We want every veteran to be able to come to our work without having to be connected to services, right? This is community based. So
I really think that's really great because a lot of the times we're not able to articulate what's happening internally. And so expressing what we're feeling and putting it in a way that we can visualize. And it's pretty incredible
yeah,
work what you guys are doing. Um, Women veterans at times don't feel, well, they're heavily underrepresented and also they don't feel seen. How does Spark create space for women to reclaim their identity, their voice? Can you share a little bit about this particular initiative?
sure, absolutely. This began in our show Diddy Bops in November of 2025. And we're artists and veterans working side by side through the arts, primarily performing arts. And as we were working, I got to give it up to Angel Little, who's my brother and core company member, who is a Navy veteran. And he said, "It's heavy on my heart. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have women veterans represented here." And I was floored. Sometimes we can't see, what's right in front of us. And I was so grateful that Angel brought this up. And he said, "Look, we have, I've got a relationship with a couple, and let me see if they're interested in bringing things in." And so then we found Marcia Ermy, who's an Air Force veteran and a fabulous artist. And Marcia allowed us to work with her through film and music and dance to really elevate her voice in the way that she wanted her voice to be represented on stage, and it moved so many people. And
Sure.
so
Right. I was present during one of their performances, and it was really incredible. And not my story, however, I felt seen and heard in her story. And so I really believe it's really valuable to all women veterans to see ourselves in our reflections and what we have either struggled with. And so bringing that out in such an artistic form, it was for me very beautiful to witness.
mm,
And so I do remember my experience there, and I hope through this initiative that women veterans are able to feel seen and heard in ways that they don't have to really talk about. They
yeah,
can just be expressive in that. Um, okay. Okay, I want to share about this specific initiative, the Movement Lab. Tell me when,
Movement Lab
where,
Women Veterans.
um, tell me when, where, and what they can expect when they
Sure.
attend.
For this initial cohort, we're meeting on Sundays from 4 to 6. This Sunday is February 8th, and yes, you'll be home in time to watch the Super Bowl. Then February 15th, the 22nd, March 1st, and March 8th, with an optional opportunity to perform and share the stage at the symposium on March 14th.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much
Yep.
for saying that out loud. Anyone who participates in this initiative has the choice to be part of a closing performance during the event that we will be holding in Lawton, Oklahoma. Um, so, can you describe it? Let's have a little bit of fun. Can you
Okay,
describe
sure.
this initiative in 3 words? How would you?
Movement Lab Women Veterans in 3 words. Let's see. Well, this we had our first cohort meeting this last Sunday, and it would be sisters hollering joyfully, right?
That's
We're
perfect.
exploring movement with a couple extraordinary civilian artists, as well
Yes.
as Marcia, and what does weight feel like in the body? What does
Hmm.
tension or pushing, pulling? You learn different ways of expressing yourself. What does your name feel like in movement?
Hmm.
Today, not for all time, but at this moment. How are you coming into the space? And individual expression begins to form a collective movement.
Hmm.
And that's something that women veterans really shared strength
Hmm.
in your bones, right? And it is such an honor and a joy for me to be able to be in a room where we're trusted,
Yeah.
right? Well, the motto is come in wrong, come in strong, right? There is no mistake. And learning military culture in the military, mistakes are bad. They could have very serious ramifications.
Sure.
Whereas in the arts, mistakes, there are no mistakes, right? So
Hmm.
if we're not failing, we're not learning.
That's right.
So we're really encouraging play, a sense of pride and dignity in what your body can do, right?
Amazing.
And it's more about what we can do rather than what we cannot. So being able to explore that with women veterans is really extraordinary.
I love that. You and I have had some conversations
Mhm.
about what makes an artist. I've shared some of the stuff that I do privately, and you really encourage those parts of myself. For someone thinking that I'm not an
I
artist,
get that all the time, man. I get it all the
or
time.
I just don't dance, right?
Okay,
What would you say to help someone feel comfortable showing up?
just come in with your curiosity, right? There's no experience needed, and I get this all the time. People are like, I don't have an artistic bone in my body.
Right.
It's a lie. Especially for people who have served, you're a master of reinvention, right? You have
Mhm.
learned how to navigate between different worlds, and if that's not creativity, I don't know what is. So being able to say like a gesture, let's play a quick little game, right?
Mhm.
So if today my gesture feels like Nicole, and that's my name, right? Easy. What might yours be today?
Mm. PETA.
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 PETA, right? Cool, knife hands. Well, no, but
I love it.
it works, right? And
Mhm.
that's your expression, and you get to see that on other bodies. Hey, that's art, right? You can think of something, for example, like if you think of somebody that you admire,
Mhm.
think of a quality you admire about them. Now, what kind of, is there a word or a sound or a color that kind of goes along with that? Well, boom, you just made some art,
I
right?
love that.
It's all about chasing your curiosity, and we're bringing our skills to the table to help people do that.
Beautiful. Okay. I want to close on when women walk out of the Movement Lab,
Hmm.
okay, when the initiative or the summit at the end of our event,
Hmm.
what do you hope they leave feeling with?
Oh man, tall. you know, I hope that they leave feeling tall and that they own their story and
Oh,
their
wonderful.
bodies, right? All of the work
Beautiful.
that we do is about symbolic storytelling,
Mhm.
whether it's through movement or visual art or songwriting. It's about reclaiming narrative, right?
Mhm.
You've had a story that maybe is not your own that you're living out. What
Mhm.
is your story like, and how can we help elevate and celebrate that with you and alongside you?
Beautiful.
When our value is reflected back to us in a way that is welcoming and affirming, it
Mhm.
changes us. We actually get to go, oh, you mean I belong,
Mhm.
and you're not trying to get money out of me?
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
that's what the arts are great for. Yeah,
Amazing work that Spark is doing.
thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here today and really sharing what Spark is doing throughout the state um, and what you're doing to uplift women. And I'm just incredibly grateful, and I've shared this over and over again, but I cannot say it enough that you believe in women veterans and really honoring their stories in a way that feels safe and it's really centered around identity and healing and leadership,
Absolutely.
professionalism also, um, and connection,
Let me
which
say
is heavily in.
thank you. And yeah, and let me say a couple more things here. One, for artists, we're learning what service means, right? And we can translate that into the larger community. The, we learn as much as we give, right? And
Agreed.
for me, this is a collaboration. This is not outreach, it is a return. and to be able to stand alongside service members and try to help create a better world
Mm.
for all of us. It's really the most meaningful work we've done. So thank you. Thank you to everyone at ODVA for this extraordinary opportunity and this extraordinary time.
Well, thank you so much, and we
Thanks,
want to
Peter.
welcome Spark to the team, and we're just looking forward to this initiative and what this brings as it grows, and how we can continue to collaborate and continue to bring the arts to veterans all across the state. So excited.
Thanks. Let's shake it up. Thanks, everybody.